Hello, I'm here with Florence, my girlfriend, in Chiang Mai. You might have heard me already talking on the Young Meets Old podcast with Jeff, my friend who also lives here in Chiang Mai. But tonight I'm here with Florence from Singapore.
Hello.
Hello, dude. She often says, hello, dude. So we're sat in my studio apartment in Jet Yacht with the aircon on, and the plane just went overhead.
There are always a lot of planes.
Yeah. What do you think of this condo where I'm living now? I just asked you before we hit record.
I think your condo is near to Ningman,
Mhm.
but it's away from Ningman.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like quiet.
Mhm.
You can get away from the noise, the busy places with like a lot of tourists, and you get some nature. And the size of your apartment is big, and then you have like facilities like sauna and pool.
Mhm.
So yeah.
How
it's
would you
good.
compare this condo to your condo? What are the pros and cons?
Well,
Because we are together but apart, right? We don't live together. But that's a benefit, right? We can always visit each other and have our own private, personal space as well. It's a good system. Anyway, my question.
well, first I think because I don't ride a motorbike and I don't drive a car,
Mm-hmm.
mainly I just walk or I book Bolt or Maxim
Yeah.
usually. So for me, like staying really close to like food eateries, malls, convenience stores, like being near to them is very important for me so that I can walk there. So I think I prefer my apartment. Like the first reason is that it's I can walk
You can walk
to
to the
like
mall
yeah.
and to the stores and stuff. So convenience is like high on your list, priority
Yes.
list. That makes sense. Do you not get bothered by noise living so close to Nimman? Or in Nimman, next to the mall?
Actually, I think the noise wise is only about the aeroplane that
Oh,
fly.
which we have here as well. So
Yeah, but other than that, I think it's quite okay actually. Like I don't. I think um, the neighbors around, they in general they are considerate. They don't make loud noises like at
but would
night
you
or
say this
stuff.
place is quieter?
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's one of the things I like about living here is it's super quiet and I don't really have neighbours like making any noise. I don't even see or hear neighbours very often. I would like some more curtains though. You see how I have two curtain rails? But I have this one like see-through netting which I'm like only 90% sure actually does.
Get natural sunlight to wake you up in the morning. Pros and cons.
You always find a positive, huh?
Yeah, and then the second reason is that because it's close to badminton,
Oh right, yeah.
and then I play badminton twice a week, so staying close to that helps to
So that
save.
so that's also high on your list because you love playing badminton. That's also one of the things you love about living in Chiang Mai. Would you say?
Yes.
What are the other top things for you about living here?
Another thing is I think many of my friends, they also stay in Ninman. Like of course they are spread across in Chiang Mai, but more like there are more numbers of them staying in Ninman. So it's like we can get together for lunch or we can hang out at like social events or stuff. We can organize that more easily, and then we can also do it like last minute because we stay really close.
Is it true though that like that kind of culture is prevalent in Singapore as well? Because I feel like it's a bigger cultural difference for me. Having come here from England, I wasn't going out for lunch every day with friends, or even for dinner every day with friends. And now I go out for lunch and dinner, and sometimes breakfast. I'm always out. You know, it's a very social place. But is it really different for you, or was it like that in Singapore for you as well?
I think it's quite a big difference than in Singapore.
Because you were working more.
Yes, first thing is because I was working a lot more, and then because of my job, like it's harder to meet my friends who have like a 9 to 5 job. Like it's yeah, and in general, when they finish work, they're quite tired. So it's not like we won't meet, we will, but with like advance booking or advance appointment, because you need to make sure that there are like more people who can attend, or like you need to make reservations in the restaurants, something like that, or karaoke's. Yeah, so in general it's harder to have a spontaneous meetup.
I see. Sorry, I'm just trying to make this microphone more centered. I hope it doesn't make too much sound on the mic when I'm moving it, but you see how I'm trying to angle it so that we're both talking into the biggest part of the... Anyway, technical difficulties. But we are in a comfy... I mean, this isn't how most podcasts are done. We're sat on my sofa with the podcast on. What is this little thing? Like
Well,
a
you
tea
just
tray?
change different angles, and then you see like, oh, which one sounds the best. Okay.
But that's interesting what you said about Singapore, because obviously I've not been there, so I don't know what the culture is like for going out for meals. And I'm sure if you have enough money and enough free time, you can do what we do here anywhere. But like you say, you have to reserve things, and you have to be... It's a work-life balance thing, really, isn't it? Which is what we have here, which is why we're happy here. Or not just us, but people that we see are generally quite happy in Chiang Mai.
Yep. I think in Chiang Mai, the thing about work-life balance is one. Another thing is also because of the benefits that is brought about by a greater work-life balance. Is that you get to meet more people, make more new friends, because everyone has like free time to come out and then do something together, like participate in big social events or some like small gatherings organized by friends of friends.
And we discovered Real Space, didn't we? Which is a big social place.
Yeah, it's a big social place, or like, yeah, and then you get to know some friends, and then you hang out with them more often, because it's like you're able to connect at a deeper level.
How would you describe Real Space for people who don't know? What the hell is Real Space, they're thinking?
Well, to me it's more like, okay, if I want to play board games, or like I want to meet new people, and then I will go there. Yeah, because there are a wide selection of board games, and then there will always be a lot of people that can join you in whatever games that you want to play. And it's also a place that you can learn some new games. I think the game master is good. Explain the rules very clearly, and yeah, it's nice. It's
I learned
comfortable.
a lot of new games by going to Real Space.
Oh, what games do you learn?
Well, I learned about card games with you that I'd never heard of. Some really good ones. Slave, but you call it Big Two.
Yeah, it has different names. Like the most common name, like for Chinese people, how we say, we call it Da Lao E.
Da Lao E.
Da Lao E.
Da Lao E. Okay.
Yeah. Is 2.
Yes. For those who don't know, I am learning a little bit of Chinese. Have been trying to, but recently kind of gave up a bit. Got sidetracked with other things. But using Duolingo, which is kind of a good app, but also kind of teaches you random useless phrases. But I think, it's free, right? So in an optimistic kind of way, it is really good. And I can say, 我是中文老师.
英文老师.
英文老师, of course, English teacher. And what did you teach me? 快乐小狗.
I didn't say that.
Another friend.
Another friend gave you that.
我是快乐小狗, meaning I am a happy puppy.
Yes, because you are an ENFP. That's why she said that.
Okay, personality side. We'll come back to that. No? No?
And another one. I think every time when you say it, like, people will laugh.
Yeah, and I just said nah at the end of my sentence. What is that? Where did I get that from?
Take it out.
I got it from you. So nah at the end is what? Is that a Thai thing?
I think it's a Thai thing.
But I got it from you. And it's just a way of saying like, I don't know, okay.
I think
at
it's
the end of
very
the sentence.
useful to soften the
Mm.
sentence.
But yeah, so there's that Chinese game, and then so that's slave. But there's different variations of it, and it's really fun. You basically have to always lay above what someone lays. If they lay a single card, you have to lay a higher card, and it starts from 3. 2 is the highest card, which is already kind of odd. But if they lay pairs, you have to lay pairs, otherwise you pass. And you can actually lay a 5-card run like in poker, so it's the same 5-card hands. So at the start, you'll organise your hands into 5-card hands if you have straights, flushes, and then full house, 4 of a kind, and a straight flush, same as poker. And if someone lays that, you can lay a higher 5-card run, and that's basically the whole game. It's super fun.
You know what I want to ask you?
Oi! We lost the mic just for a second.
The leg.
The leg on the table fell.
Yeah.
There we go.
I think I'm curious because you mentioned that game, right? So at least it shows that you have a strong feeling towards that game.
And there's a game as well, I'll tell you, that I don't like at Real Space, which is anything where there's like people shouting and trying to figure out who is who. So like Secret Hitler or whatever kind of variation of that. And do you like those games?
I'm okay, but I prefer to play those because those games are like more people, like bigger groups, right? So I prefer to have at least some of my friends in there, so I won't get bored. Like when people are having discussion, I can like have my own fun talking about some interesting thing with my own friends.
That's something I notice is that because we pay to go there, right? And I notice when you go, you pay to go and you play the games you want to play. And you don't get suckered in easily to like, I've noticed I can get suckered in. Like if someone's like, do you want to play this game? And they need someone, I'll say yes. But now I'm starting to get better at like, well, I don't really want to play that, so I'll turn it down.
Really? You mean that makes you happier? Like when you decide on the game instead of going with the flow?
I learned it from you as well. I learned that from you because I do want to play specific games, and if I'm going to go and socialise there for several hours, I might as well enjoy it. I'm also paying for, okay, I have the monthly membership, which you don't, but I still want to get the most out of my time and have fun. So if you want to play Skyjo and I want to play Skyjo, we'll play Skyjo. And can you tell people what is Skyjo?
Skyjo was introduced by Paji, no?
Paji,
a very nice
German friend.
Yeah, it's a game where the total value has to be as low as possible. Like when you add up the card values, and then the cards can range from -2 to 12. So 12 is the worst card, basically.
So you try and get rid of your 12s.
Yeah, replace it with numbers that are lower, basically. And then I like that when you can have like the whole column.
Yeah,
like
that's right. Yeah.
When you happen to get the same number, and then you can remove the entire column, and then.
So you turn cards one each at a time from the deck, and then if you get a low card, obviously you'll replace. But your cards are face down, so you don't always know what you have.
Yeah,
So
that's why I enjoy that. It's like
there's luck.
there is luck, and sometimes it's really fun when you get like a really good card from the player before you, and then it's like, and then when that happens in a round, it just feels like, oh, there is like a good juju going.
The good juju.
The good juju, yeah.
So that's Skyjo. So we've got a few card games, and then what else do we play?
I wanted to ask you when you mentioned like Big Two and Slave, and I wanted to ask you, what is the thing that you enjoy most in the game, and what is the thing that you find most annoying, like when you play that game?
When I play Slave, I don't like to play as the slave, which means, by the way, you came last in the first round, and now you're giving your 2 best cards to the king, who is the winner of the round. And I don't like the feeling that you can't escape. Like, but I know it's luck,
you can get
because
off.
but you can continually get given bad hands, which some people will complain about. I try not to complain about giving it back, because it's just a card game. You get bad hands. But if you feel powerless and you're just stuck as the slave, it sucks.
That's why the first round I feel so stressed, because I'm like, oh, if you become the slave in the first round, then it's so hard to come back. But if it happens, then usually it's just okay, accept the fact and then like try to move up because there will be like plenty of space to move up. Like you can move up peasant or you can move up to queen or king, something like that.
I like the fact that you can play with at real space. We can play with our friends, and when we invite people to our condo to play, we play with our close friends. We specifically pick. So that's what I like about that game is that we can pick who we want to play with, and we have fun with those people. We make our little in jokes, and we just have a lot of fun together. And then we can share food like brownies and make tea, and it's just really nice, isn't it? It's just really special to have these specific little groups of friends, and it's different every time as well.
So you like the vibe, basically, like the vibe.
I don't really like the word vibe because I feel like it doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
But I like it means atmosphere, so I guess you're right. I was actually talking about company. I like the company that we choose.
I see.
And the laughs that we get from them.
But do you enjoy also the like when you are looking at the cards, right? When you first got your hands of cards and then you look at them and then you are trying to think like, oh, how can I optimize them? Like,
yeah, that is a good point about the game. It's good strategy, and
like the planning is very important.
You have to plan,
right? Yeah, and then
I've got better at it as well. So I feel like it is a game that when you first start out, you think, oh, this is just luck. This is just like poker. But you have a lot of cards in Slave, and so there is planning and skill that goes into it.
And then sometimes you have to change your plan because if you see that other players are playing maybe doubles, and then
so I used to just lay whatever I had, but now I'm way more thoughtful
flexible.
If someone else lays a card, you're like, oh, actually, maybe I should keep this ace because I might want to win the next round, or I might not become the king this round, so I might keep it for later to take on the other losers and make sure I'm not the biggest loser, right? Anyway, what about Catan? Do you like that?
No.
What about what other games do they play at real space a lot?
I think we also we never play Avalon.
We never play
at real space, right?
What's the other one we play with the tokens and you can take one?
Splendor. Splendor is a good game. That's
really
one of my
If you haven't
favorite
checked out Splendor, check out Splendor. That's a good one.
But Splendor is, for me, it's like one round. That's it. I cannot play two rounds.
Yeah. I mean, you could if you just had a coffee, but Splendor is a serious very skill based, very very high skill based.
Like I had to like focus from the start to the end, like not to waste any rounds.
Is it 4-player minimum?
5. It's 2 to 5 players.
Oh, it's 2 to 5, so 2 minimum.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we played with 4 last time, and it's not focusing.
4 is the best, actually, ideally.
Okay, probably, yeah. But I'm saying if you had 2, you're only focused on yourself and one other person, what they're doing. Trying to watch what 3 other people are doing with their strategy is quite difficult. Because I can barely focus on what the hell I need to buy. So you're buying cards, basically, in Splendor. You can only take a certain amount of chips at the start of each round, your turn. And so you can buy cards based on what tokens you have. And they'll all cost different amounts. And when you buy the low level ones, they have the resources on them as well, same as the tokens. So it allows you to later on buy things easier. So it's very skill based. I like it actually. I feel smart when I play it, but even though I lose.
It's a lot of again. It's like a lot of like planning involved, like how you finally get to getting 15 points before other players do. Yeah, so when I play that game, I'm like, oh, I can't socialize. Like, I remember during the last round, it's like you were joking with others, and then to me, I just like get a few words from you, and then I just like focus on, okay, which card I'm gonna get. Okay, next round I'm gonna reserve, or next round I'm gonna take exactly what color of chips, because I don't want to take some color that I actually don't need, and then it's hard to like remove them later. So I think that part is quite important.
So that's real space, and we go quite a lot. We go a couple times a week.
And once or twice a week for me.
Once or twice for you. I've been going more because I paid the monthly membership and been working there sometimes. But it's a great place, and there's other places like that in Chiang Mai too. There's a lot of co-working spaces, nice coffee shops, and a lot of people here are working online, nomads. So I think we feel quite comfortable here. Are you feeling like you want to stick around and you're quite comfortable?
I think the thing I realized life in Chiang Mai is that time pass really fast. Like I feel like sometimes I'm just 6 months has passed. Wow, that's half a year, and then I wonder like, the next 6 months, how fast
quick is
will
it
it?
gonna go?
Yeah, and then
You didn't feel like that when you lived in Singapore, no?
I actually is a different kind of like in Singapore it's like because it's busy with work, so when you're busy, you're occupied, you feel like time pass really fast, right? But then the difference is that I feel like I have done many things for work, but not really for my own personal happiness. Say, getting to meet people, new people, meet up old friends, and then catch up with them, or like picking up a new hobby, or like trying out a new experience. Like that part is lacking. So even though time passed quickly, but it's like you just feel that it's lacking. But over here, it's like time passed very quickly because I feel like usually most of the time I'm having a good time. So it's the same. It's like when you're having a good time, you feel like time passed quickly.
It's great.
Yeah.
But you're happy here, right? That's my main thing.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, I'm ENFP, and I am a happy guy, which is rare. Most guys are not happy. What is it? 1 in 3. I
No,
read a statistic
actually,
on that.
most guys are not F. I think most guys are more like thinking with
Okay,
T.
okay. So I'm a feeling kind of guy. Straight
Feeling
up.
kind of
Okay, that's fine. So can you tell people who might not know what is ENFP?
I think you should know it better than me.
Well, actually, I only know about this kind of stuff because you've told me about it.
I mean, I don't know specifically like when this four, because it's made up of 4 letters, right? I only know like the breakdown of it, like
So the E is for?
extrovert, and then the other side is introvert.
Okay.
It's not really like opposite, but it's more like when they measure it, they measure like on a range, which point are you sliding towards?
So it's quite specific.
Yeah, kind of.
And
like,
some people are ambivert, right? So they go both ways.
yeah, they will be more like in the center, something like
and
that.
they can flip based on their surroundings.
And it changes. Actually, it changes every 3 months, like when you do the test, because you get new experience or like some, and then you learn some new things that change.
Oh, that's interesting. It changes every 3 months.
For some people, yes.
We are learning new things with Dan and Florence. Welcome back. It's the Dan and Florence show in Chiang Mai. We're talking about personality traits and types. So that's I mean, most people know about the introvert,
MBTI,
extrovert.
yeah.
MBTI?
MBTI, Myers-Briggs
I don't know what
test.
you just said. Oh, the test.
Yeah, it's
So if you haven't done the test and you're interested, check out.
is like the website is 16personalities.com.
Oh, okay. And MBTI
Yeah,
is the name of the test.
and I would suggest that like because they offer like different like so many different languages for the test questions.
Okay.
So I really recommend you to choose the language that you are most familiar with when you're doing the questions, because the questions are really specific, and then you need to fully understand the question in order to give a more accurate answer and therefore a more accurate result.
And this is a great way to learn about yourself, which I think is important. I mean, I would have never done that test. Well, I never say never. I might have done eventually if I'd found out about it. But I'm glad you told me to do that. I think it was early on when we met.
Yeah, because I'm always curious. Like, yeah.
You want to know what people are, how they are.
Yeah, because I mean, like I used to be introvert all along, right? But then it's like after I came to Chiang Mai, then I became an extrovert, and then
very quickly.
I don't know how fast it was. It was just like one day I read a book, and then the book was Difficult Personalities.
Oh, you lent me that book.
Yeah.
I haven't finished it, but I do like it's a good book.
I only read like the first 5 pages, and I remember one of the pages was saying about how an extrovert is like, and then how an introvert. And I was like, why do I feel that I'm more like extrovert? And I was like, but all along I'm an introvert. So I did the test and I was like, oh, okay, so now I'm extrovert.
Well, that's another thing to recommend. The book, Difficult Personalities. How
You
to
like
deal
that?
with.
You like that book?
I like
Why?
that book. I've sat on your sofa and I've sat in my condo reading that a few times, and I only got a third of the way in, but it's good. I mean, I don't. If you've not read a whole book, you can't really recommend it fully, but if you find it interesting from the first page, is obviously something to hook. It's just to find out about how to deal with people who are certain types, or deal with sounds bad, but it's from a business perspective. So if you work in an office, you deal with a lot of different types of people, and you've got a manager to contend with, and you've got deadlines and people in your face, and people who are like extrovert, people who are introvert, people who work in different ways. I know people are auditory learners, some people are not.
Kinetic learners.
All the other types, yeah. So
Outside.
there's just a lot of interesting information in there for someone who's worked, like me, in a variety of different fields. I've worked in education, but I've also worked in sales and, marketing and customer service, restaurant. I've done everything. I've done a lot of, not everything. I've done a lot of stuff, and it just sparked a curiosity as soon as I opened it up. So I will finish that. When I find books I like, I make a note. I will finish this book. But sometimes you put a pin in it and you go back.
Okay, so now it's June,
Yeah.
and then
Maybe I'll take
let's
it
see.
to Lao with me, because I don't want to take my Stephen King novel, which I also want to finish. I'm on book
It's thicker,
5.
right?
That's a book recommendation from me personally. It's Stephen King's Dark Tower series. I'm on book 5. Super good. If you like any kind of fantasy, sci-fi, a little bit of thriller, horror kind of stuff. Futuristic. It's set in the future, but also kind of the past.
Did you reread this book?
No, I'm just reading it very slowly. When I first came here a year and a half ago, I was reading number 4, but they're just so big. They're like 700-800 pages, so they're hard to finish. But whenever I pick it up, I'm straight back into where I left off with the characters and the story. Just, a bit of fiction is good. I read that fiction makes you more empathetic.
Huh? Really?
Reading fiction apparently makes you just a better human in every way.
I thought you were gonna say creative.
It's
or
something like that.
imaginative.
It probably does make you more creative and imaginative too, but I read that it makes you more empathetic towards others' feelings. I don't know why or how that is, but
Wow.
Google it.
Yeah, I have to find out how it impacts the brain, and then yeah, maybe.
So I'm conscious of time. Obviously, it's our first ever podcast, but we asked Chat GPT to give us a few questions for us, as you can, and we've both got to teach tomorrow, starting at 10 a.m. and it's gone midnight. So why don't we look at these questions and just ask a few to each other, and then we'll call it a night. Where are our questions here? Here we go. So the first category is life, and it's given us 5. Do you want to choose the first one? Which one shall we?
Which one are you thinking? Let's say the question number in 3 seconds, and then let's see.
3, 2, 1.
2.
3. It was actually just the first one I read. I didn't even read them all. So go on, let's do number 2.
What?
How has living in Thailand changed your perspective on life? I'm asking you.
Asking me. Well, I used to think that money is very important. I think it's understandable because back then when I was 20 plus, I first graduated, and then it's like you see, like I saw my classmates, everyone started working, got a job, and then like they're planning on like in a few years time they're gonna get married and get a house. So it's like, if you're gonna get married, you wanna get a house, you need money, right? So everyone is just working really hard, which is supposed to be like that, right?
Of course, in England as well.
Yeah, and then it's like you start to have your own. You need to really cover your own living expenses and everything, like electricity and Yeah. So so I work
It
really
gets very
hard.
intense, doesn't it?
It gets very intense, and then I just feel like wow, just many years flew by, kind of like
Your
yeah,
20s.
yeah. But of course, I think it was nice that like I set a goal every year and I reached my goal, and then like accumulated some savings. So now at 30s, I just feel like okay, um, like living in Chiang Mai, I just feel that I think also because these savings also provide me with like a secure feeling that okay, at the very least that okay, I have this to support me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then um but then with but living here makes me realize that money is not the only thing that is important. It's like prioritizing mental health is a very important thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a form of loving your
Self-care.
yeah, self-care, loving yourself, and then it makes you happier. And then when you feel the true happiness from inside your heart, and then that will keep you going, and then you can achieve more, like hit your potential, or like make even more money maybe, or like get a lot of friends, or like understanding more stuff, or like getting more experiences that are memorable. Yeah, I think it has changed my life on that need to be more balanced.
I think that's good. I think your perspective has changed in a positive way, and I've had the same thing. Even though I never used to think that money was everything, but I did used to overwork myself. I still have a tendency to overwork when I know I should take an hour off or a minute off or a day off, but I don't. But anyway, that's another point. I think my perspective has changed in the same way, but also just that I value my time more, and I value experiences more, and friendships more, and people more. I used to see people as more, everyone was just a colleague, everyone was just a way to make money, or someone to work with, or someone to collaborate with. Whereas now people are
Temporary.
actually friends, people are people to have lunch with and laugh with and have fun with. And I don't, and not, again, and not everything is tied to money. People aren't tied to money here. It's not about what people do here. You find out what they do and you're interested in how they live, but really it's just when you meet people, it's more just like everyone just wants to be your friend, and everyone's already happy. It's like most people you meet here have found their happy place, whether or not they're living here or traveling. It's like most people say, oh, I like it, and then you can tell they want to come back, and they probably will come back, even if they don't live here right now. They might just be passing through, but they call it the land of smiles for a reason.
People are more the locals here are very patient, very nice. It's like in the malls, if it's crowded, you see that they always give way to you. It's like really nice. And then if they accidentally like block your way, you will just see them turning around immediately and say, "Oh, I'm sorry," and they're like, "Oh, it's
You
okay."
know what else? No one's ever rude to you in a store. No, which you just take for granted. I'm already accustomed to it, but in England, it's not so. You're not supposed to smoke in places, but people will. People are smoking everywhere. You'll see people. I've seen people spit in the street in England. I've seen drug dealers on the street. I mean, depending on where you're from in England, right, or America, or wherever in the West. But I grew up on a council in a council estate in a council flat, and there was drug dealers downstairs, you know, and there was drug deals happening in the street around me as a kid. Or maybe I didn't see it face to face, like I was right next to them, but I'd see it happen from the window, or it's just not as nice as like TV and movies will make it out to be. And people are rude to you in a store sometimes, and people will barge you out of the way, and as they say, shit happens. But in Thailand, you won't experience that because it's a cultural thing. I don't know how people are raised here, but are they all Buddhist or what?
I think it's also about the stress level that they are experiencing.
Okay.
It's like when you live in cities and then you you have a lot of bills to cover, a lot of commitment, and then just.
Is that really an excuse, or is it
I think
a cultural thing, an educational
I think you
thing?
can explain it in like with different many reasons. Like it can be because of cultural difference, or it can be because of their religion. Like yeah, like they're more calm in general. Or I think one factor, I mean realistically, I think is the stress level. It's just that people in general, like especially in Chiang Mai, like they are more laid back. They're just more laid back. And then
The Thai people and the foreigners.
Thai people, I thought we
Mainly
are
the
talking
Thai.
about
Well,
the
yeah,
Thai
but the
people.
foreigners are all very relaxed here. I mean, I haven't met any rude Americans either, or
Yeah.
rude English people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because they're all either traveling or on holiday or working online and pretty stable and relaxed.
Well, I still see some angry tourists walking around. I mean,
Okay, sometimes.
yeah, talking really loudly and
Yeah.
screaming at their kids, and then
Okay, occasionally, but there isn't many of them, and it's the Thais that there's mainly Thais here anyway.
Thais are, yeah, in general, I think they're quite. They
Thais are amazing.
They.
In the south as well, it's the whole country. It's not just Chiang Mai. Phuket is just as slightly different because it's a holiday beach place, and
I haven't been there, so I cannot
you
comment.
can't. Okay. Well, it isn't quite as nice actually, but Chiang Mai is a special place, definitely. It's not like anything like Bangkok. So if you've only experienced Bangkok, you haven't experienced Thailand. There's the beauty in the south of the islands and the beaches, and you haven't been. We must go.
Yeah, I haven't been to Krabi or Phuket, not yet.
Oh my god, we must go.
Or Koh Samui, no.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. And so we should go. But also, yeah, Chiang Mai is a very special place, peaceful place. Question 2.
You should answer question 3 because you picked question 3.
What's a typical day like for me? So I get up and I make a coffee in my metal percolator, which is that goes on the hob. What are you laughing for?
Your coffee is never sweet.
Oh yeah. So
Very healthy.
So Flo likes her instant coffee. I like real coffee.
Well, I like all kinds of coffee that is sweet.
Okay, so as long as I put honey in it, you're happy.
Yeah.
Which I do. I put honey in it. But you bought that honey. Honey?
Yeah, I brought it from Singapore, yeah.
Okay, honey. So I get up and make a coffee, and then I work online. Maybe I do some teaching at the school or online from home. Sometimes I teach private English lessons. And yeah, I'm doing this podcast right now. This is also work. It's 12:38 at night. Here we are. We're still going. And I'm just ad hoc, freelance, remote, and loads of other buzzwords. I'm just doing a bit of this. And I perform every Wednesday night at Camellia Bar with a jazz band. That's fun. Sometimes I do Tuesday night at the North Gate, and I can sing and play whatever I want. That's a great place. Okay, what else do I do? I'm learning Python programming. Very slowly, but I keep going back to it, just like I go back to my novel. I'm making progress in that course on Udemy, and one day I'll finish it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's the same. Like you finish the IELTS teaching.
Oh, I did that as well.
Course too, yeah. You can finish that.
I did that whilst I was on holiday in Malaysia.
Yeah, so you can also finish the Python course.
You know what? You're right. Okay, what's a typical day like for you?
For me?
Oh, and we play badminton too. I forgot.
Yeah, I think I like it. Like in the morning, play badminton and then hang out with friends for lunch. Talk about how to improve on badminton skills. Talk about who is being very aggressive today,
Oh, really?
or like how we should deal with this shot or different shots. And then teaching.
Teaching too?
Yeah.
So what do you teach?
Online. I offer piano lessons, like online piano lessons and Mandarin lessons.
Mandarin too, and what else?
That's all.
I always think it's 3 things. But
No,
it's 2.
it's just 2.
You never teach a little bit of a 3rd thing?
Like what?
I thought there was something.
Like wizard?
No?
No.
Well,
Just
2 is
2.
enough anyway. Which do you prefer, teaching Mandarin or piano? You teach music theory.
But that is also part of piano.
I would actually classify that as separate because I don't teach music theory lessons.
Okay.
So you teach piano, music theory, and Mandarin.
I like them equally
Oh, nice.
because they offer me different things, and I like it like when they are like slightly different. I mean, they are all online lessons. Like I have to use Zoom, I have to use Google Meet, but it's like, but at least like for piano, I will have to listen more. I have to stare into the screen, make sure they're playing correct notes. But for Mandarin lesson, it's more like I'm sharing screen with them, marking their work, and then do a like one-to-one conversation training with them. So it's different.
Do you feel like teaching those different topics uses different parts of your mind?
Yeah, of course, and it helps like the different parts to have enough rest, and then helps different parts to work again. It's more balanced that way. Yeah.
And do you tailor your lessons depending on who you're teaching?
Yes, usually I usually do that because I feel like different students have different needs. Age is different, personality is different, learning ways is different.
Do you have to plan lessons anymore and do stuff like that, or is it all very easy? Because you've been teaching for a long time, right?
Yeah, I have been teaching for more than 10 years. But in general, I don't really plan lessons. I just have a rough guide. Like where we stop at, I have to finish going through the vocab list. And then depending on how well they answer my questions, I will like on the spot think about, okay, maybe we need to practice sentence translation, or maybe we need to do more like what's that called? More like some words recognition, or like showing them how to write the strokes in Chinese, and then telling them the stories. Yeah.
Wow, you sound like a good teacher.
Thank you.
But I knew that already. Alright, let's move on because I'm conscious it's getting late and we're getting up to teach tomorrow.
Yes.
Yes. What do you teach at 10 a.m. tomorrow, Florence?
I'm gonna have a oral practice lesson.
Okay.
With a 16 years old Indonesian student.
And how many hours are you teaching tomorrow?
With her it's just 1 hour, and with other students I think maybe another tomorrow, maybe around 3 hours.
And I'm teaching about between 10 and 20 or 25 hours a week at most. Normally between 10 and 20, and it's enough for me to live and survive in Chiang Mai. It's more than enough. Well, it's not more than enough, but I'm getting by. I'm paying my expenses, you know.
Comfortable.
It's comfortable, so it's very cheap to live. That's one point. And you know, for you, I think you maybe earn more than me, but
I like that you budget. Like you know how much you have to spend, and then how much you can spend basically.
Well, actually, a few months ago, I was doing an Excel sheet. Did I show you that?
No.
I was tracking exactly how much I was earning. God.
Actually, it's a lot. Like more and more people are doing that.
That was really I liked doing that. I'm annoyed that I stopped because I wish I had February and March logged, everything I earned and everything not everything I spent, but like the basic expenses of like, oh, this much for food, you know, roughly per week is how much. So I know kind of, and then obviously the rent is set and certain things you can work out easily. So I did know the income and outcome, and I knew I was covering my expenses, and I had the tick.
So that gave you peace of mind.
So much happiness came from that. I was like, oh, you know, even though I have savings and I'm comfortable, oh my God, I'm actually covering myself, my way. That's so nice. You still should do that. If you're traveling, living abroad, you still want to cover your way. I don't want to spend my savings unnecessarily. I'm thinking ahead, you know?
It's good.
I'm trying to be careful. So I wish I'd carried on, but I think I could still retrospectively? No. I could go back. I could go back and still figure it out for April and
When
May.
the time is right, yeah.
I mean, I don't need to. I'm pretty sure I still did cover my way, so I'm okay. I don't need to do the Excel sheet every month, but yeah, it's good to keep track of things. I mean, not too far. I don't want to start tracking my minute to minute
Yeah, if it
work.
stress you out, then okay, then you might want to put a limit on like
Yeah,
how detailed you record. But if you're happy doing that, then I would say like then you should do it.
yeah. So I'm going to skip travel because we haven't travelled anywhere, but I would like to take some trips. We've spoken about a few places. We would
Taking
like to
trip
go.
is the best way to know the person, right?
Oh.
It make or break.
So where would you most like to go? Let's do one for travel.
I think maybe I want to go to Suzhou or Hangzhou in China.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in. Let's book the flights.
Well, we can look for the friend who gave you the nickname.
Oh, yeah, I know who that is. Kuai Lu Xiaogou.
Yeah.
She lives there?
She lives in Hangzhou.
Hangzhou. Oh, okay. Well, she's going to Switzerland. This is a student of mine who I was teaching English. She was Chinese. But anyway, high on my list, because I've heard it's nice, is Japan, but also Australia.
I went to Australia before.
Oh, okay. But maybe Japan we could go?
Maybe.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Okay, we've got love and relationships. We're just going to do...
I suddenly think about something. I was like thinking, okay, if we go to Japan, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, because you always joke that I look like a Japanese. Then
Yeah.
I'm thinking, how about if you cannot identify me?
But you do look like a Japanese. a little bit.
How are you gonna spot me? Like,
Oh, I shouldn't say that. I've never been to Singapore, so you know I'm just kidding. I'm not being racist. I'm just being silly.
yeah, I believe you can find me, the prettiest one.
How many Singaporeans have I met? One.
Well, there are gonna be more coming this year.
Really? Your friends are coming?
Yeah, I think she say she might be coming with her husband.
Oh, nice. It's not true actually. I did meet one other Singaporean. I told you about it. He came to my jazz bar gig with Jazz Mai, my 5-piece jazz band.
I never get to see him.
Wednesdays, 9 o'clock till 10 o'clock at the Camellias Bar in Chiang Mai. Catch me and Jazz Mai. So that's the little advertisement, you know. We're
You with
sponsored by myself.
With the Italian drummer, a Russian singer,
Yeah.
with a Thai saxophone player.
And Thai bass player and English pianist.
Yeah,
And I sing too.
it's so multinational.
It's crazy. We should be called multicultural.
Right,
That'd
totally.
be a good name for it.
Yeah, ta-da.
But yeah, I met a Singaporean at that bar and he bought me lots of drinks. I think he was like late 30s. I think he told me he was 38, but I could be remembering it wrong. But he told me he worked in a casino in Singapore and he was earning a lot of money. Then he went into some business startup and he was earning a lot more money. So he had money and he was with a lady boy, which was interesting. I think she was.
I don't know. I haven't met any of them.
You weren't there, that's right. I remember now. Anyway, he
And my
bought me
gaydar is not
and the
strong.
singer, the Russian singer, he bought us lots of drinks and we got a little bit tipsy. But it was very interesting to talk to him. And he liked ladyboys. Anyway, some people come here, they travel, they love it, and they like ladyboys too, and that's available here. Another benefit of Thailand is if you want a ladyboy, you can get one. Not my thing, but you know.
Well, they also have their types. You need to fall into their
Is
type.
this a good time to tell you that I'm a ladyboy? I used to be a woman, Flo.
To be honest, I'm not surprised.
What do you mean?
I'm
How dare
kidding.
you? Okay, this is love and relationships from Chat GPT. It's given us 5 questions. Number 1 is, what was your first impression of each other? So, for those who don't know us, we met at badminton group. And
Do you remember seeing me?
I remember seeing you at badminton, yeah.
Interesting.
Your first impression of me in 30 seconds, go.
Why do I have to say it? Just because it's ladies first?
Ladies first.
What?
English politeness.
That was like really short time, eh? I think at that time I just thought like, oh, like because you came together. I saw you, yeah, and another friend at the same day, and I was like, oh, these two are good friends. They always played together, and then because at that time I played really bad, it was really hard for me to to find someone who is willing to team up with me or even be in the same court as me. Like I feel like I don't want to drag anyone
You were shy,
down.
right?
Yeah, or like cause them to not able to enjoy their game because maybe they wanna. Yeah. So I thought like, oh, this guy is like very focused about badminton. That's great.
I take games seriously. I'm trying to be more relaxed about that, but it's a competitive sport. It's hard to be super relaxed when you're playing. I mean, there's some good players in that group. So yeah, I want to play well as well. We all want to play well when we go to play.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours. It's intense. It's like 35 to 40 degrees in there.
But it's nice that they have like many different players from different places, and then it's like everyone's play style is different, and then because it's like a big group, you kind of can get a mix and match, like in different games. I like that.
So wait, your first impression of me was just that I was very serious about
Because that was
badminton?
really short time. That was just like first impression. That was like,
You didn't get anything else other than just he's competitive.
okay, fine. Maybe he's good looking.
Oh, we get to hear what we want to hear. You know?
I think you just want me to say that.
No, I actually didn't want you to say that.
Okay, so he isn't good looking.
No, I didn't want you to say that either. I was trying to find out seriously what you thought of me. I was just being more.
Because
I was probing.
because at that time I just thought like, oh, like your, like for my standard, I only know, okay, most of the people, like maybe 95% of people are playing better than me. So, yeah.
Well, my first impression of you was that you were cute.
Because of my height.
You are a bit midgy. You're a short one, but a sweet one. As our American friend said, you have a very big heart.
A big heart?
A big heart, yeah. I could tell that you're a very nice person, very friendly and open, and easy to talk to. So we started talking. Yeah, and the rest is history. Okay, what is something that is... Okay, I like the second one. What's the most romantic thing we've done for each other?
The most romantic thing.
Recently, I gave you a key. What does the key unlock?
Your door?
My door. I thought that was nice.
Yeah.
What do you think? I mean, it was also because I want a special place for it to be kept because I only have 2 keys. And then if I get locked out...
You know when you pass me that key, right?
Yeah.
To me, because I see it in a very practical and realistic manner, I was just like, oh, maybe he's not confident that he can keep his key well. Okay, yeah, I know I'm trustworthy, so he keep his key with
Well, so
me.
the thing is, I have 2 keys, and I'm pretty sure I can figure out where to get an extra one cut. But I don't want to do that unless I need to. But I also can't keep them on the same key ring for obvious reasons.
Yeah, of course.
I can keep my back door unlocked and Mission Impossible style climb across the balcony, past someone else's condo, and then get in because the netting is a bit broken on the balcony. So I can actually get in the back door, and I've done that before, by the way, when I've lost my key. And it's very dangerous.
Oh
And
my
if I slip, I would fall and break my neck. So I don't want to do that if I don't have to. I've done it twice. Once at night in the rain. But anyway, apart from me side shuffling as a 6'3" man across a balcony edge in front of my swimming pool without trying to kill myself by accident, I've got 2 keys, and I can give one to the woman downstairs, the concierge, or whatever you want to call receptionist, whatever. But she's only there during the day, Monday to Friday. If I've lost my key on a weekend or an evening, I'm screwed. So I gave it to you. But it was a dual purpose.
It was like a 24/7, right?
You don't have a 24/7. Well, one, I can just stay with you if that happened. But 2, why I gave you the key for another reason. Because we were looking at moving in together briefly, but we couldn't. So it was kind of like symbolic, you know. It's supposed to be nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
And then recently, you gave me
A key
2.
with a really nice keychain.
With a
I'm
really
so
nice
proud of
key.
the key. Actually, I'm thinking, right?
The
Maybe
keychain
I
is
should
nicer
switch the key.
You You want your key
I
fob
really
back.
like that one. The one has a silver temple on it.
Why you want your key fob? It's got the silver temple.
Yeah, it's a silver temple. I thought it was, and it's made of wood. I was like, oh, it's really nice feel, nice texture.
I appreciated that. So now I have a key to your place. We both have keys to our places,
Yeah.
which is nice.
Yeah.
Okay, that's love and relationship. Tick, finished. And next up we have advice. What is your best piece of relationship advice for couples living abroad?
Huh?
Your best piece of advice for a couple living abroad?
Best piece of relationship advice. I don't think I'm at the stage where I can give people some relationship advice.
That's very honest. Okay, so how do you handle disagreements or conflicts? Thank you to Chat GPT.
I think this part is
We are not sponsored by Chat GPT.
This is a very interesting question.
No money has changed hands.
I think it runs in steps. No money.
Steps.
In steps. It's like, I think because especially like in a relationship, right? Sometimes you feel strongly, right? Like if someone says something wrong or someone says something that annoys you or something, you feel heartbroken or you feel really upset, then the feeling is like a lot. And then I think the first step is to just allow yourself to calm down, or allow yourself to cry, allow yourself to vent, allow yourself to shout, like any, just so that you can achieve like the state of like returning to being calm again, so that you can, because I think ultimately every problems need solutions, and then like for solution to happen you need to have a clear head, so you need the logical thinking to come back first.
Well, this is a great answer. And I knew you would give a great answer because I know that you like podcasts about relationships and relationship advice and sex and love and, marriage and all that kind of stuff. So, good answer. Do you want to ask me one more? Here, choose from the list. This advice is completely free.
Well, I think what's the funniest thing that's happened to you recently? I think that's what a lot of people want to know.
The funniest thing
that happened to you recently.
The funniest thing
within this week.
So much funny stuff happens.
I
all
know,
the time.
right? I think today there was already one funny stuff. You
motorbike.
You just bought a lot of stuff, and then you just
I
put your
got on the wrong
backpack.
bike.
You literally put your bag, the handle onto the hook.
Hey,
and
look. Excuse me. Crazy things can happen when you're tired, like right now.
In the morning, before badminton.
Before coffee.
Oh my.
No, after coffee. Anyway, the funniest thing that's happened. So I was recording a podcast with my other friend. Well, male friend, girlfriend, Jeff. My male friend. This is my girlfriend. What am I talking about? Gone crazy.
You're repeating.
I've become a broken record. He was recording a podcast with me, and then what happened? His wife called from the sauna from downstairs, and he had to go down and move his car in the middle of my first ever podcast with him. But I just managed to upload that, I think. So that's going to go live, and then this is going to go live. That's great.
I think it's funny that he was like very excited, saying like, "Oh, you're now live on the podcast," and then she just said, "The God asked you to move your car."
Yeah, it's very serious, right? But that was just fun generally to do. I think podcasting is fun, and I'm happy I'm giving it a go. And it was really fun to do it with Jeff. He's very funny, so I think it's good to have someone you vibe off of, even though I don't like the word vibe. Someone you can back and forth with, And I think we had a good conversation tonight.
Yeah, I think so too.
Did you enjoy having?
I think so, and I feel so.
I think and I feel. Did you have a good time doing the podcast?
Yeah, at first maybe I was a bit like thinking, should I say this? Should I say that? But then it was okay. It was alright. Yeah, it was fun.
So maybe we can do it again sometime.
But maybe I will not want to listen to it again.
You should listen to it.
Well, I enjoy the moment and it passed and okay, great. Next
You
episode.
learn something about yourself when you listen to it.
I always find hearing my own voice through recording is really, really weird.
Why?
I don't know, like I would cringe. For some reason,
That's
I
common actually. I've heard that, especially. I don't have that problem.
I have that. I still have that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Listen back. Try and listen back and see if you can overcome it.
I may try.
Yeah. We'll see if anyone else listens to it. Do you want to ask one more question, or should we finish it there? I want to ask you one more. If we could switch lives for a day, what would you do first?
First thing, badminton.
Why you want to play badminton as me?
Well, I want to try playing badminton with a taller body and then see how it feels like to smash it so easily.
So, if we were the audience, they don't know how tall you are. How tall are you?
I'm 157 centimeters.
Midgy.
It's not midgy. It's better than.
It's pretty small. So if Santa came knocking, he might hire you as like a little
Like what?
elf to like make the presents.
Well, I can help to distribute the gifts.
I like that you didn't take offense to that silly joke.
No, because in my head I was thinking, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer cannot do that, but I can.
Anyway, so you'd play badminton as me, and I'm 6'3", which is I think 190 centimeters, around 190.
Yeah, and I also would like to find out what will be the what will the difficulties be like.
The difficulty would be, trust me, the back pain.
The back pain.
You would feel the
No,
pain.
you're supposed to
in the
move
back
your
and in the neck.
legs, eh?
I just have pain when I play badminton, and I try and stretch and everything, and I'm just not stretching enough. But it's deskitis, as I call it. Sitting at a desk, working, and then going straight to badminton play. Yeah.
Need good stretching beforehand. No?
It's intense, and I'm very tall, so it's. Yeah. But anyway, we're both tired, so we're gonna have a good sleep, and we're gonna get up and teach. Never ending, huh? The teaching, the grind.
Well, there are also happy things that will come along.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like another tasty lunch.
Of course, I'm thinking about good food.
What are you gonna have tomorrow? Should we have wacko bake again? Wacko?
No, I was thinking maybe I should have the QQ noodles again.
Oh, the thing you wanted to have tonight, but they were sold out.
Yeah.
the
Or
Chinese
maybe
noodles.
Indian food. I haven't had butter chicken for like
Oh, you do love that butter chicken.
for a month. Or
So that's
something.
another great thing about Chiang Mai is the food is amazing. Quite frankly, it's amazing. Vote for me. That was my terrible, tired Donald Trump. Anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. We've been Dan and Florence, and this has been the Dan and Florence podcast. Or we can call it something else. Got any names?
No, I'm too tired to think of it, to be
Should
honest.
we just call it Tired Podcast?
No.
Should we record it at midnight every time and call it the Tired Podcast?
The Midnight Podcast.
The Midnight Podcast. This has been the Midnight Podcast. You've tuned in to the Travel Aware, Be Aware, Learn Things podcast. Hopefully we found this fun and enjoyable, and hopefully you found it fun and entertaining and informative, and other words too. Anyway, see you next time.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.